Hey guys, and welcome to FilmArtsy, your #1 source for all things films and movies, and we've been covering the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League pretty extensively on this channel, following all of the news and updates since before its announcement, all the way through everything that is now moving in place, and the fact that we are going to see this on HBO Max is something incredibly exciting. However, it now looks like there might be even more coming from the DCEU with Zack Snyder, and just in general, the future of how they're going to handle the DCEU and what plans they have to kind of fix up some of the things that are a little bit weaker in the universe. We wanted to talk about that a little bit because it looks like we now have an official confirmation that Zack Snyder is going to be involved in a re-release of Batman v Superman, which came out before Justice League and was kind of that second installment, and will be released in an IMAX format, meaning that the aspect ratio of the film will be adjusted, making the frames a little bit easier to see more things beyond. And it does kind of allude to the possibility that Snyder might be planning on kind of revisiting this film a little bit more and touching it up just a bit, considering the fact that he's been working on building the precedent that you can go back and change the films up and make them slightly better. Now, what's really interesting is when Batman v Superman came out, it did kind of get panned by critics pretty heavily. However, later on, the film was re-released as an Ultimate Edition, which was significantly longer, had more plot points put back into the movie, and for the most part, it was re-evaluated and it did have a better reception than its initial release. So that's why a lot of people felt like when the Justice League film came out that wasn't directed by Zack Snyder at the end of the day, there was a lot of stuff missing, similar to what we had with Batman v Superman, and that's why the whole Snyder Cut thing started. And it ended up turning into this big thing where Warner Brothers was even willing to put more money into the budget to allow for reshoots and a lot of other things like that, and kind of film some new scenes. So the fact that we now have talks that Batman v Superman is going to be revisited, even in the slightest way, if it's just an adjustment for an IMAX format and it's going to have a limited theatrical run in the IMAX form, it could possibly also allude to the fact that Warner Brothers might be willing to put a little bit of money in to try to tighten up that film as well, just a bit, maybe not to the same extent to Justice League, but if there's one or two things that could be altered in post-production, or maybe even if we want to go as far as reshooting things, which would be a bit of a stretch at this point at least, it could be a consideration just so that they can make sure that on HBO Max, everyone who is kind of revisiting these older DC movies get the best possible experience, and they can kind of begin to patch up some of those movies that just didn't perform as well as what DC initially had hoped. And even the director felt like his vision would be altered for whatever reasons along the way. So this is really exciting. There's a lot of interesting possibilities that could come from them revisiting Batman v Superman as well, and it will be cool to see what ends up happening from this. We know there's also been a lot of talks, of course, for the Justice League to get the same treatment, where the film would be re-edited and they would do reshoots and kind of fix up some stuff in that regard as well. And maybe that is a possibility, because it does seem like we listened to some of the reactions to the actors who were involved in the movies, and over the years we've heard the cast members kind of change their tone when it comes to looking back at that movie. For instance, Margot Robbie recently started talking about how the possibility of a director's cut version of Suicide Squad would be interesting to see, kind of starting the conversation, and other actors like Will Smith, who did not want to return at all to the DCEU after what happened with Suicide Squad, now apparently is in consideration to come back. And while they had already lined up another actor, Idris Elba, to take over his role, they ended up writing a new character for Idris Elba so that the possibility of Will Smith coming back as Deadshot could still happen. And it might still happen, especially if Warner Brothers gets behind Suicide Squad and throws some money at it and allows the film to take the form that it originally was supposed to have, and it gets a better reception. So a lot of really interesting stuff, but mostly the fact that Batman v Superman is also being looked at and being considered for some more revisions is really cool. Though, let us know what you're thinking about this whole situation in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on for more videos like this, uploaded every single day of the week. And we'll see you guys all next time with a brand new video.
I'm about to.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Hi.
Hi.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
I don't think so.
See you guys.
Know anybody?